gentle tone, soft pace, a whisper of time worn, smoothed by centuries. Welcome, traveler of thought. Tonight, we journey back far, past modern cities and electric lights too. A place where stone roads echoed with sandals, fly, and marble statues gazed blindly across forums and crowded streets. Be a world of emperors and gladiators, poets and slaves, of grandeur carved into columns and grime swept beneath sandals. This is ancient Rome, but this is not the Rome of triumphal marches and chariots. This is the Rome of ordinary people, of shopkeepers and chamber pots, smoky kitchens and crowded tenements. A city where the scent of rose oil mingled with the stench of open drains. The history you'll hear tonight is slow and quiet. It hums rather than roars. It will not ask for your attention, but gently hold it until your thoughts drift softly like ash from a Roman brazier. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let the dust of time fall over you like a blanket. Let's begin out in a palace, but in the belly of the city. Imagine you wake before dawn, curled on a straw mattress shared with your siblings, your breath caught in the sour warmth of bodies and smoke. The air is heavy. The window, if you have one, is a wooden shutter with no glass. Just a crooked view of another wall, only a few feet away. Bleed, a common Roman city dweller, and your day begins, not with quiet or calm, but with noise. Cartwheels on stone, shouting vendors, barking dogs, a baby wailing upstairs. We live in an insula, a tall, often rickety apartment block made of wood and brick. The walls are thin, fires are common, and water. There's no running tap. You haul it up in jars from the communal fountain unless you pay for a delivery boy to bring it, sloshing across town in the hot sun. There's no kitchen in your apartment. Instead, you eat street food. Boiled chickpeas, bread dipped in wine, dried figs, maybe a bit of salty cheese. Meat is rare. Freshness is questionable. The street below is lively, always. But don't look too closely. Open sewers run down the center. People throw wastes, sometimes human waste, from upper windows. You learn quickly to watch for falling objects. The city stinks, not metaphorically, but physically. Reek of fish markets, tanneries, latrines, and the eternal burning of olive oil lamps. Your tunic is plain, your sandals warm, and the heaters a stifling mosquito swarm. Lice are constant. Baths exist, yes, but you have to walk to them, wait your turn, and hope the water hasn't already been fouled by someone else's sweat. Rome is loud, not just talk, but clangs and creaks and the endless shuffle of feet. If you work, you rise early. Perhaps you're a potter or a weaver or a porter hauling grain at the docks. If you're a child, school might await, but only if your family can afford it. Otherwise, it's chores. Always chores. By midday, the streets bake, the shade is patchy, and rest is a privilege, not a right. At night, things get worse. Oil lamps flicker, shadows stretch long, theft is common, fights break out, brew. The city posts watchmen, but they are few, and bribery is widespread. Even in sleep, you're never truly safe. Fires break out, buildings collapse, sometimes entire blocks disappear overnight into ruin. And always the threat of disease. The Romans had gods for everything, even health but medicine, while advanced in some areas was crude. A minor infection from a cot could turn deadly. Malaria lingered near the marshes. Dysentery was rampant. And when plagues arrived, as they did, again and again, there was no cure. Sick were left to burn with fever in hot, dark rooms, while neighbors sealed their doors. There are no painkillers, no antibiotics, just herbs, prayers, and maybe the knife of a backroom surgeon who learned by trial and error. And if you die, you hope your family can afford the proper burial. Otherwise, you're tossed into the common pit alongside beggars, slaves, and the forgotten. Still, the rhythm of Rome persists. There is laughter in the streets, songs sung at taverns, and debates in the forum. Children play with wax dolls and carved wooden toys. Housewives hang garlands over doorways, and centaurs, when the sun sets just right over the Tiber, the city glows with a kind of stubborn, timeless beauty. The poor pray to household gods. They leave offerings, teeny bits of food, clay figurines. They dream of better fortunes, perhaps, of cool baths, of stable roofs, of something softer. But for now, you live day to day, and if you could last, the day would be among the fortunate few. The morning of March 15th, 44 BC, dawn. Like any other in Rome, the birds sang from the forum's rooftops. The marble glistened faintly under a winter sun. Senators, scribes, and servants began to stir across the capital of the Republic. But the man at the center of everything Gaius Julius Caesar would never see another sunset. By now, Caesar had risen higher than any Roman in memory. He was a conqueror of Gaul, the victor in a brutal civil war, and had declared himself dictator for life, a title that stirred ancient fears. You see, Rome did not like kings. For centuries, the city had prided itself on being a public thing, ruled by elected senators and guided by tradition. Caesar, for all his brilliance, had begun to look suspiciously regal. Play. He wore the purple robe, sat on a golden chair, refused to rise when addressed by senators. Coins bore his face. Statues, once reserved for gods, now bore his name. Some adored him. He gave grain to the poor. He forgave enemies. He dreamed of expanding the empire eastward. But others, men like Brutus, Cassius, and Decimus, believed He was strangling the Republic in the name of peace. And so, they sharpened their knives. Caesar was warned. A soothsayer told him to beware the Ides of March. His wife, Calpurnia, dreamed of blood flowing in the streets. Bad omens abounded, but Caesar laughed them off. That morning, he hesitated. He had planned to stay home, but one of the conspirators, Decimus, convinced him. The senator waits. Don't give them cause to whisper. So he dressed. He walked. He entered the theater of Pompey, where the Senate had temporarily relocated. Inside, nearly 60 men waited. As he sat, they closed in. First came words, then shoves, then blade. The first stab struck his shoulder. Another sliced his arm. He tried to rise, confused. Then came, moreover, 20 wounds in all. P bled onto the tiles, his white toga blooming red. According to legend, when he saw Brutus, the man he considered like a son, he whispered, "Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus." He pulled his toga over his head, and then he died. Just like that, the dictator was gone. Outside, the city held its breath. At first, the conspirators believed they had restored liberty, that the Republic would return. Instead, they had opened Pandora's box. Riots erupted. Caesar's body was burned in the Forum by a furious mob. His loyal general, Mark Antony, seized power. His adopted heir, Octavian, returned from Greece. The Senate splintered. The old alliances collapsed. And within just a few years, Rome would never again be a republic. Octavian, soon to be Augustus, became the first emperor. The republic was gone. In its place, an empire that would last for centuries. Julius Caesar's fall was more than a death. It was a turning point, a moment when ideals crumbled under the weight of ambition, betrayal, and fear. He was loved. He was feared. Who is necessary, who is dangerous, flesh, and in the end, even he could not escape the blade of Roman politics. But while his life ended that day, his story did not. Streets would still carry his name. Emperors would wear it like a crown. His ghost would walk the stage of history for millennia to come. Softly now. The torches have burned out in the Senate. The marble is quiet. The whispers of betrayal fade like mist. Let us drift farther still into a darker mystery. They were 5,000 strong, marching beneath the proud banners of Rome, wearing iron and crimson. Their footsteps echoed along the misty frontier of the known world, Roman Britain. Then they vanished. No battle remains, no grave, no triumph. Just a whisper in the cold northern winds. This is the mystery of the 9th Legion Hispana. It was the early 2nd century Bet, and Rome controlled much of Britain, from the southern ports to the fortified towns across the Midland. But the north, that was wild land, dangerous land, home to unconquered tribes. The Picts, fierce and untamed, painted in blue woad and hardened by the mountain. It was there that the Legionine Hispanatha 9th Legion was sent. Their orders were simple: suppress rebellion, re-establish order, and remind the North, who ruled the island, be marched out of Eberacum modern day, York sometime around 117 CE. They never came back. What happened to them? Roman records go quiet. Tacitus, the great chronicler of Roman Britain, offers no ending. Archaeological traces of the 9th disappear after this point. A once proud legion, simply erased. Some believe they were ambushed, overwhelmed by an alliance of northern tribes, slain to the last man, and buried beneath the foggy heaven. Others say they were transferred, perhaps, to the Rhine or Judeland, later destroyed there. But if so, why no record? Why no monument? Rome celebrated its martyrs, yet for the 9th there was nothing. Blanche by. In later centuries, the myth of the Lost Legion grew. Victorian authors imagined it as a romantic tragedy, Rome's pride, swallowed by wild lands. Modern films turned the tale into epic fiction. Novels reimagined their fate. Some had them survive desert, even integrate with local tribes, and become forgotten kings. By truth. Truth remains elusive. A few tiles stamped with their insignia were found in Nijmegen, in the Netherlands, spot dated before their disappearance. A stone in York still bears their name, one of the last in Britain. No mass grave, no battlefield, no ancient song, just absence. The disappearance of the 9th reminds us of the fragility of even the greatest empire. Rome, for all its might, stretched itself thin in unfamiliar lands, with long supply chains and unfamiliar enemies. Even elite legions were vulnerable. And time, like the mist of a Hadrian's war, eventually erases footprints. Was it a massacre? A cover-up? A bureaucratic error lost to time? We may never know, but sometimes what's not written in history says more than what is. Let the silence of the 9th wash over you now, like the cold northern wind that may still whisper their names. Far away from the dusty alleys of the Subora, past the smell of fish markets and the echo of street performers, the men in purple, trimmed togas, the women draped in silk, the children born into legacy. Welcome to the life of a Roman senator, where every detail was curated, every gesture symbolic, and every day a quiet performance of power. But even here, behind marble walls and manicured gardens, life was not always what it seemed. He rises, not at dawn like the labor, but late morning, attended by slaves bearing warm water and scented oils. His cubiculum bedroom is cool and shaded, with frescoes of gods watching over him. His morning routine isn't hurried. First, a light breakfast, olives, cheese, and honeyed bread. Then, he prepares for the Slote Showa, formal reception where his clients come to pay respect. Beige, and in return, receive favors, food, or money. It's not friendship, it's patronage. A ritual that keeps the social machine. By midday, he walks slowly, always with poise to the forum. Here, he debates, votes, listens. Politics is performance, but not like today. There are no campaign ads, no televised debate. Reputation is built on lineage, on eloquence, and often on bribes cloaked as generosity. He rarely speaks unless needed. A nod can mean approval. A silence can destroy an ally. The forum is loud. He is quiet, and that's his power. The work of governance done, he retreats to his villa, perhaps on the Palatine Hill, perhaps in Tivoli, where the air is sweeter. Bathe there, shaded by cypress trees and serenaded by fountains. He reads, scrolls, Cicero, Plato, or Virgil. Philosophy is fashionable, even if not practiced. Sometimes he writes letters, speeches, or treatises that few will read but all will admire. He bathes in marble thermae, soaking away the weight of Senate debates, while discussing war, law, or the quality of imported Spanish wine. And then evening falls. The dining room triclinium is arranged with low couches. Incense wafts through the air. Lamps glow softly. The courses come slowly: dormice, oysters, stuffed figs, and honey-roasted boar. Entertainers perform. Poets recite. The elite don't eat for nourishment. They eat for status. But too much opulence is vulgar. So, everything is designed to appear effortless. That is the illusion. The senator smiles, drinks a little, nods politely. He says less than he knows. Prue. He laughs when appropriate. All eyes are on him, but he is watching everyone else. When the guests leave, he returns to his study. He records thoughts, dictates a message, stares at the flickering flame. He wonders if his son will be ready to inherit the weight of his name. He recalls a vision from a dream last night. Jupiter standing over Rome, arms open. He thinks of the people down in the Subura who will never taste honeyed dates or wear white linen, but only briefly. The senator knows that Rome is built on order, and that order must be maintained. He blows out the lamp. Silence, sleep, and tomorrow it begins again.